So my name is Adam Creighton, and I am the Chief Economist of the Institute of Public Affairs in Australia, in Melbourne, a free market think tank. And I have had the pleasure of spending 2 weeks in Argentina, mainly Buenos Aires, but also Mendoza, to investigate the real impact on the ground of the Milei government's reforms. It's been an extraordinary privilege to be here, of course. The first lesson, perhaps for me, is just how strikingly rich Argentina once was. You can see it in the architecture everywhere in Buenos Aires. And that's a reminder that even very rich countries can go downhill very rapidly, which of course is what happened in Argentina through decades of foolish socialist policies under Perón and his successors. It seems now that there's been a turnaround. The government of Milei, of course, quite famously now around the world, has achieved spectacular results with inflation, which has come down from more than 300%, I believe, at one point, to about 25%, 30% a year now, about 1.5% a month. This is an extraordinary achievement, and it's probably the main reason why why his party did so well in the midterm elections, which were held here just 3 weeks ago, where his party got 41% of the vote, which was an extraordinary result. His party has more than doubled its number of members in the lower house. And so now there's the prospect of real permanent structural reform in Argentina. I think one big thing which foreigners don't understand is that Milei, for the first 2 years, has been hamstrung very severely by the Congress. He's not been able to do very much except by increase. And of course, the Congress has been able to thwart all of his changes. But now, when the new Congress takes effect, I think on the 10th of December, there's prospect to make major changes to employment law to make it much easier for people to hire and fire, which is a big problem. In this country, some 50% of workers are not even formally employed, which is a striking statistic for anyone outside Argentina. And of course, the tax system is a mess. There's hundreds of taxes. It needs to be simplified. The criminal code needs to be simplified. And the public sector needs to be reduced dramatically. There's still far too many people working in it. I think some 4 or 5 million people are still working in the public sector. So the second half of Milei's government is going to be probably even more of an interesting experiment than the first half, because we're finally going to be able to see the benefits, let's hope, the continuing benefits of the free market reforms of this government. And let's just underscore that they have been a terrific success so far. The economy here is growing 5% this year, and it's meant to grow another 5% next year, according to the IMF. These are spectacular results in just 2 years. And like I said, the inflation rate has come down to about 25. I think it's expected to go perhaps even to single digits next year, fingers crossed. And if that's the case, then he'll probably get a second term, which is much deserved in my opinion. Thank you.